Amazing.
It's so amazing.
It's so amazing.
Amazing grace.
It's so amazing.
It's so amazing. Yeah. Amazing grace.
So knowledge is very powerful. Now we're talking about the concept of time as it relates to success. We're talking about laws of success, the laws of success. This is what we've been sharing for a while because I believe very strongly, number one, it is the aspiration and the desire of everyone to succeed. Either you believe God or not, everybody wants to succeed. That is the truth about it also. As success becomes a common denominator among human beings, regardless of your race, your age, and you want to succeed in life. And that is the truth. Nobody wants to see himself as a failure. As a matter of fact, there's nothing so depressing than to consider yourself a failure. And so it is the desire of every man to succeed in life. And I shared with us some time ago that the world has redefined success for us. And what the church and a lot of the religious people in the church are chasing after is the worldly success, not the godly success. So there is what is called the worldly success, and there is also the godly success. I want to kind of encourage us, let us pay attention to the teachings that we have done in the past in order to save time. Now, where I stopped last week is one of the things that we have to understand in regards to success is the law of time. The law of time. The law of time. I told us that time is the currency of destiny. Time is the currency of destiny. Every time you spend, every moment you spend, you are spending part of the portion of your life. And that is the truth. That is why it's important for anyone at all who is ever going to succeed to pay attention to what he engages his time with. It's very, very important. Time is an exchange for your worth. That is why they pay somebody $8 per hour. And in the same company, they pay another person $80 per hour. You report the same time. You clock out the same time. As a matter of fact, your work is more laborious than the other one. And that they will say, thank you so much for coming to work for the past 2 weeks, and here is your paycheck. And you look at it, you shake your head. They just pay you your worth. That is why you never allow any man to define your worth. When the book comes out, How to Make Wealth in a Bad Economy, you will understand what I've just shared with you. Never, when a man defines your worth, they put limitations on you. So that's why you have to pay attention to what you are engaging your time with. It's very important. Don't ever close your mind against what engages your time. Religious people, like I share with us, they're just waiting for manna. They're waiting for manna. You may need to go. I watched on YouTube some few weeks ago, of manna falling from, is it Uganda or where? You may need to go to Uganda to get some manna. But here in the US, pay attention to time, sir. It's very important. So I don't care how religious you are. If you don't follow this law, you will die a failure. You will die a failure. The symmetry I share with us is the richest mine on the face of the earth. The symmetry is richer than the mines in Iraq or the oil field in Nigeria. There in the cemetery are men born with purpose who died nonsensically. There you see in the grave men who came to the earth with treasures to bless their generation, and they died impoverished. No wonder when Elisha died, because he never accomplished all that God wanted him to, his bone was still raising the dead. He died with the anointing. So you must pay attention to what you engage your time with. How do you know your worth? pay attention to what engages your time. Your time and your value is a trade by barter. Time is critical to the sense of significance of each and every one of us. And whoever takes your time has your life. Whoever takes your time has your life. So when you spend 8 hours, the question you must ask is, where do I spend these 8 hours? And what is the exchange for the time I have spent here? That is how that individual has defined your worth for you. And then it is onus on you to redefine your worth. Tell your neighbor, redefine your worth. I'm still doing a recap. Somebody's already getting it. Somebody's already getting it. Yeah. Be a tongue talker. Talk tongue from morning till night. If you do not pay attention to what you engage your time with, you will die a poor man. We will bury you a poor man. So it's important for you to pay attention to what engages your time. The proof that God has your time is that He has your life, is that He has your time. The proof that God has your life is that He has your time. So when you give us all the excuses, all those lame and flimsy excuses to God and say, God, you understand, we're in America. We are going to work. And God understands. No. He does not. It is a sign that you are saying, God, you don't have my life. I have my time. I do anything and everything I want with it. The remaining, that if I have remnants, I will dedicate that to you. Maybe 1 or 2 hours on Sunday. And if the pastor does not finish the message on time, I'm going to get my Bible and get out of there. See? So when the sign that God does not have your life is that He does not have your time. In Bible studies, where are you? I'm relaxing. You see, they don't have time. They are too puffy, too pompous, too arrogant for God. They believe that you don't have to spend all that time, in God's presence. You have all the time to yourself. That is the path to failure in life. It's the path to failure. You see, when you're talking about prophecies are all these things. There are certain prophecies you don't need anybody to prophesy. By the virtue of the way you have lined out your life, you can see your end. You can see it. You can see it. Psalmist says in Psalm 90 verse 12, teach us to number our days so that we may apply our hearts to wisdom. Listen, if you are ever going to succeed in life, you have to make sure that you are in control of what you are in control of. That's a very powerful statement. Make sure, be intentional, be strategic to be in control of what you are in control of. There are certain things you are not in control of. You are not in control of the weather. You don't know when rain will fall, when sun. You are not in control of those. But there are things you are in control of. And the two key things that can help you to get to the zenith and the summit of fulfillment in life are your life and your time. Your life and your time. You are in control of your life. You are in control of what you do. Am I making sense to anybody? There's not like He made me do it. You are in control of what you do. You are in control of decisions you make. Nobody makes decision for you. Did anybody wake you up this morning and say, please wake up, you need to come to church? No, it was a deliberate, intentional decision. You are in control of that. You are in control of your time. The same 24 hours you have is what the president of the US has. The same 24 hours. So it's therefore important. Please don't be too religious. You see, all truths is parallel. It's parallel. Don't get caught up to become so religious that you don't pay attention to what matters to life. What I'm sharing today matters to life. It matters to life. It matters to life. It is what I put down here. What you are paid is defined by how your employer defines your worth. What you are paid is contingent upon how your worth is defined by your employer. This is just a recap. Anything you don't have is what you have not been what you have been unwilling to exchange for your time. Anything you don't have is what you have been unwilling to exchange for your time. And I share with us also that you are competing with yourself, you are competing with time, you are not competing with no man. You are not competing with anybody. We are not in a competition. Not at all. Our path is different in life. We're not called to achieve the same thing. We're not called to accomplish the same thing. Not everybody is called to be a pastor. That's the truth. So our paths are different in life. And I'll be sharing more about that just very shortly. So it is important for you, therefore, to be careful of time wasters. Time wasters are destiny destroyers. When somebody engages you on that phone, you must be able to account for what the discussion is about. How profitable is that to you? How enriching is that to you? How productive is that conversation to you? When it is all the stories of tortoise and doves and all this bickering and all this mouthing, please tell them, please, I'll call you back later. Later means later. There's no time to find. So if you don't call back in 10 years, you are still going to call him back when? You have not lied. I'll call you back later. Later means later. You promised to call me back and you have, I told you later. Yeah. Don't be very careful of time wasters. Be very careful of time wasters. Now I'm going somewhere now. Now, what we've done all this while is to lay the foundation for success. And today I want to kind of show you the steps to success. The steps to success. What makes you to become outstanding in life? What makes you to come out of the pack? What makes you unique? What makes you to become distinctive? This is the secret. And I call it the ladder to success. And there are two key words that I'll be sharing with us. I may not be able to finish everything today, but I'll just kind of lay the foundation. Number one is capacity. Somebody say capacity. Say loud and clear, capacity. If you are ever going to succeed in life, you must understand the law of capacity. And the second one is character. If any man ever dreams to succeed, you must have capacity and you must have character. Those two things are the key. And all these things are biblical. They're very, very biblical. Very, very biblical. The truth about success is every seed has a tree in it. Every seed has a tree in it. Genesis chapter 1 verse 29. Genesis chapter 1 verse 29. And God said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of all the earth, and every tree with what? With seed in its fruit. Say, every tree with seed in its fruit. So every seed has a tree in it. And the reason why this is critical is what lies within you far more exceeds what lies behind you and what lies ahead of you. What lies within you exceeds what lies behind you and what lies ahead of you. There is a king in you. Tell your neighbor, there is a king in you. You better say loud and clear now, there is a king in you. In every seed is a tree. And what lies within you far exceeds, outshines, overpower what lies behind you and what lies ahead of you. And that is why every seed is a deposit of a tree. Every seed is a deposit of a tree. Every seed you see carries in it a mighty tree. By implication, every seed has a potential. Every seed has what? Every seed has a potential. An undiscoverable potential. When you look at the seed, it may not look like it may not sound like it may not feel like it, but in it there is a potential for greatness. And as you are here seated, I am glad to announce to you that you carry eternal potential in the inside of you. Your eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, it has never entered into the heart of man what God is going to make out of you. That is why you never underestimate any child. Anybody that is genuinely born again, don't underestimate him. Don't. It's a matter of time. That is why I know that your testimony, your greatness is here finally. If you are the one I'm talking to, I said your greatness is here finally. That every seed has a potential to become a tree does not guarantee every seed becoming a tree. Am I communicating? Yes, every seed has a tree. But that every seed has a tree does not guarantee that every seed will become a tree. All truth is parallel. You can pray and fast 40 days and 40 nights. If you do not take that seed through the process, that seed will not change. The reason for stagnation in the life of many people, especially the so-called religious people, who are they are just waiting for one miracle to happen. They continue to play lottery until they win jackpot. They are playing, the moment they have their paycheck, Konoko will receive visitor. They are ready to Rekebo Toriba Sutoria 2222. They are ready to pay another job. Wait. And they come and meet Pastor. Pastor, please pray for me. In fact, I'm really expecting one big miracle. They won't tell the pastor it was lottery. In order for you to understand spiritual truth, you must understand physical truth. That's the truth. In order for you to understand spiritual truth, you must understand physical truth. The problem with believers is many of us don't understand physical fundamental truths. Physical fundamental laws. We don't know it. That is why it's difficult for us to interpret the scriptures. It's difficult for people of the church to interpret the scriptures because they do not understand, or perhaps they do not apply themselves to physical fundamental truth of life. If you read 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 46, 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 46, Paul said, the spiritual is not first, but the natural, then the spiritual. He said, it is not the spiritual that is first, it's the natural. Because the truth is, human practical interaction with the world is first natural. You were not born and you just gave your life to Christ, while you were being born. No. Your first interaction is with the natural. That is why when you take time to study the parables of Jesus and the teachings of Jesus, you will see a lot of analogies and a lot of analogies that is making with the natural experience as it relates to the kingdom. That was why Jesus was able to get his message across very, very clear. Because if you can relate with what he's saying based on what you're experiencing, you can connect. That is why the scripture encourages the religiously myopic and lopsided people of the need to go and learn from the ants. It got to a time in the scriptures, God says, drop the Bible now. Don't over spiritualize this matter. Go and learn from the ants. Many of us, the only book we read is the Bible. You'll be amazed. If you ask many of us that are here seated, how many books have you read this year? They will say, I read Psalm 91. And you'll be amazed. It was one prophet that gave them that psalm to read over water and drink. You see, what will make a difference in your life within the next 5 years has a lot to do with what you hear and what you read. If you are ever going to make it has to do with what you hear and what you read. What you hear and what you read. What you hear and what you read. Capacity. Capacity. Somebody say capacity. Every man is a seed with a potential of becoming a tree. And the question is, what is a seed? This is not dictionary definition, but based on the context in which I'm sharing this, I have this down as my own definition of it. A seed is a tree that is yet to be cultivated. A seed is a tree that is yet to be cultivated. A seed is a potential success and blessings to many. A seed is a potential success and blessing to many. A seed is planted with a tree in mind. A seed is planted with what? With a tree in mind. So the man that intentionally goes out to plant a seed has a tree in mind. And that is where the law of vision comes in. That's where the law of vision comes in. Because you can only create a path for what you have seen. You can't create a path for what you have not seen. A seed is planted with a tree in mind. A seed is the deposit planted for a tree to grow. A seed is the deposit planted for a tree to grow. If you plant nothing, you will reap zero. You see, 0 times 0 in 1,000 places is equals 0. 0 times 0 equals 0. Religious people keep planting 0 times 0 times 0 with prayer times 0. Let me give you this religious mathematics now. You see, 0 times religion equals 0. It's equals 0. No result. And this, there's no anointing there. There's no power there. No, you are the one that is empty. You are the one that is empty. And so there's nowhere to contain glory and grace. But today, I see the destiny of an individual receiving a dramatic and revolutionized turnaround. In the name of Jesus, turn around in your destiny. You will no longer be stagnated. I say you will no longer be stagnated. In the name of Jesus. God makes deposit in every man on which he must build. God makes a deposit in every man on which he must build. I don't care how religious you are as a pastor. If you don't study, all you will have will be stories of tortoises and doves. Story of tortoises and doves. When I was in Jamaica, nobody cares about when you were in Jamaica. What is God saying now? Am I making sense to anybody here? You need to learn to engage and interact with knowledge. It makes, oh my God. God makes a deposit in every man in which he must build. The potential is there. The deposit is there. What it takes to succeed is already inbuilt in the inside of you. It is honors of you to build on it. If that's your responsibility, he's not going to do it for you. God is not going to go to school for you. Perhaps you are aware of that. Tell somebody, do something with your life. You better say it as look straight, confront that person, do something with your life. Enough of sitting around. God makes deposits in the life of everyone and require. He said, you need to know what is required of you, oh man. You need to know what is required of you. I'm talking about what is required of you. Matthew chapter 25, beginning from verse 14. It's a little long passage, but it might be very important to read it because it's actually the texts, in which what I'm sharing actually centers. Matthew 25, beginning from verse 14. At that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like this. See, the kingdom of heaven will be like this. The kingdom of heaven will be like this. Once there was a man who was about to leave home on a trip. He called his servants and put them in charge of his property. Verse 15. He gave to each one according to his ability. You need to underline the word ability because I'll be sharing some, I'm talking about capacity now. He gave to each one according to what? Please talk to me now. According to what? According to his ability. To one he gave 5,000 gold coins. To another he gave 2,000. And to another he gave 1,000. I go to verse 19. After a long time, the master of those servants came back and settled accounts with them. Verse 20. The servants who had received 5,000 coins came in and handed over the other 5,000. You gave me 5,000 coins. You gave me a deposit. I have built on it. I have result to show. Because you can't argue against result.
It's so amazing. It's so amazing.
Amazing grace.